Hey, you guys, what's going on? Facebook, YouTube, Periscope. You guys come on in. I know it's the middle of the day, but I need y'all to come in. Listen, I've got some stuff to say, and I want to get it out while it's fresh. Um, I'm going to talk about my earlier live later, but I need you guys to come in here and really hear this. I've got mask face. I got to share this with you guys. So come on in, come on in. Let me know who's here and where you're tuning in from. Let me know who's here and where you're tuning in from. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Listen, um, today, um, I'm teaching. I already know I'm going to get emotional, so I'm just not even going to I know I'm going to get emotional. But today I'm teaching, and they did introduction speeches. And I love introduction speeches because they get to tell me about themselves, and I get to find out more about who they are. And they did a good job. And then one of my students got up and he began to talk about his life, and he shared that he was adopted at age 2. He was adopted, and he began to share his story. And as I was listening to his story, normally, you think, when kids get adopted, like that's like the best thing, right? And he just began to talk about his journey and the abuse that he experienced. And my heart broke. My heart broke for him. And not just for him, but for all of the young people who, for whatever reasons, have been disconnected from their families, or even in their families gone through abuse. And he began to talk about bullying and thoughts of suicide and suicide attempts, and um, being put out at 14 to fend for himself. And I found myself as a mother with my heart broken. And um, it reminded me why I do what I do. And so I had to finish doing what I was doing, but we got out of class early. I couldn't do it. Like, it was too many emotions that I was going through, and I had to stand in the gap for his mom, right? It's one of the things that God has called me to do, and that's to stand in the gap for people, especially when they have parental breaches, breaches in their parental relationship, just to help them with healing and transitioning on the other side. And so I just kind of stood in the gap, and I began to talk to him as a mother, and asked him to forgive me as I stood in the gap for both his biological mother and his adopted mother. Um, and he didn't look like me, and it didn't matter. I saw a young man who has all the potential in the world to take the world by storm and to impact so many lives, take a risk, and share some information that I'm sure he didn't want to share, but he shared it. And he opened himself up to us, and I was not going to let that moment pass by and act like it was nothing and just go on with class like nothing had been said and nothing had been done. It was not happening, not on my watch. No, today was going to be his day of liberation. Today was going to be his day of healing. Today was going to be the day when I broke the social distancing rules and I hugged him because he needed a mother's hug. He needed a mother's love. Today was going to be the day that he got a new mama, and she black, and she cute, and she's smart. And I adopted him today. I adopted him, and I became his adopted mother. because he needed a mother. You all listen. I don't care what's going on in this world. There are some things that if we lose them, we lose who we are as a society. We lose our humanity. And I refuse to lose my humanity for anything or anyone. I could not listen to his story and not love on him. I could not do that, right? And it could cost me my job, but I wouldn't even care because, listen, I know what he needed in that moment and what he needs to be able to move forward in his life. And it didn't matter that he didn't look like me because I saw a son without a mother who had been failed. But I'm thankful that there were some places and some people who were able to step into his life and help pull him out of what could have been extreme poverty, a horrific lifestyle, so that he could end up in my class taking public speaking because he's going to be on stages around the world sharing his story. His book is going to be on bookshelves, right? He's going to be speaking to young people around the globe. That is the calling and the mandate that's on his life. And I was not going to let that moment pass and not reinforce that for him. Every day we get to make decisions about our lives. We get to make decisions about how we show up. We get to make decisions about what we're going to do with our journey. I find myself in a place where today has been a little emotional for me. And it really started this morning. And let me tell you why. I made a phone call. I was talking to someone that I have a great deal of respect for. And they've been following me and watching me, and they're familiar with some things that I've experienced um, at the hands of other people. And what was said to me was, Dr. V, I see you out here, and I'm so proud of you because I know what you went through. And I know that it had to take a lot for you to get on the other side of that. And that meant a lot to me. You all listen, I don't despise my journey, nothing that I've gone through. I mean, think about it. I'm currently in the process of going through a divorce. I could say that I despise the fact that I've been married 5 times, but I don't. Every time I learned something new about marriage, about me, about life, about spirit, about God. I learned something new. And I don't regret a single decision. I don't regret a decision because every single person who's been a part of my life has had purpose in my life, and I'm grateful. Even the most horrific things that I've experienced, I'm grateful for them because they've helped to shape me into who I am. I refuse to despise my journey because there's somebody out there who needs me to share my story in the same way that young man shared his story because their life is going to be impacted by it. My life will never be the same as a result of the speech that he did. My life. And I'm the professor, and I've heard speech after speech for over 30 some years of hearing speeches. And when I tell you my life will not be the same as a result of him sharing his life with me, there are people waiting, and they're waiting for you to show up, and they're waiting for your story. They're waiting. And unfortunately, some of them will continue to wait because you're so busy being concerned about what everybody else is going to think, what everybody else is going to say, how everybody else is going to feel about your story that you won't even tell it. And so those people won't get what it is they need from you. Now, I'm not saying they'll never get what they need. Like God will use someone to speak, but it's not you. It's not the same. You are a unique being with unique experiences that literally God knew that you would have. And He designed you to be able to endure whatever you've had to endure, to go through whatever you've had to go through, so that you could overcome and be that testimony that would impact the lives of others. God has been waiting on you to show up in the way that only you can show up. So, why am I here? Well, to be honest, I needed a minute to kind of process some things. And you guys, like, you're my listening ear. Thank you for being my listening ear. But I'm also here because I believe some of you needed to hear that today. You needed to hear that you don't need to despise your journey. Mm-mm. You need to share it. You need to share it with the world because the world is waiting on you to show up and to show out like only you can. In the same way that I have to show up and show out. The time for mediocrity is over. The time for being basic is over. You know, the old folks used to say, you need to piss or get off the pot. Call me the old folks today because you need to piss or you need to get off the pot because somebody else needs to go. My preference, God's preference, is that it be you. You have the ability to absolutely change your life. And then, you know what I thought about? What if he had ended up at the way? What would that have done for his life? So that at 12 years old, he was introduced to trading on the foreign exchange market. At 14, he could have tapped into that market. And while the account has to be in an adult's, we know how to figure all that out, right? He could have still been able to provide for himself a life and a lifestyle that would have not reflected what he had gone through. How many lives are waiting for us to get in position, waiting for us to show up, waiting for us to do what it is that we've been called to do? How many lives? How many? And you're sitting around worried about what somebody else is going to say or think about you. God doesn't have time for that. Neither do you, nor does the world, because it's waiting on you. I made a decision earlier today, and coming into this room and hearing him talk made the decision even clearer for me. We can't afford to continue doing life, business, the financial, the way we've always done it. Can't afford it. There are too many lives weighing in the balance, too many people who need what we have and who need financial resources. I can't do it. I can't just say it's business as usual. It's not. I have a renewed passion and a renewed vigor to change the lives of the people that I am called to and that are connected to me. For those who want change, really want financial liberation, like you really are ready to be financially free. You're really ready to lock arms with someone who believes in you and will help you to get there. You, you need to say, I'm ready. And let's change our lives and change the world. Let's be a soft space for people, a soft place for them to land. That young man, he needed a soft place to land today, and he got one in me. But beyond that, there's some other things that he needs. And there are other people who need things. Can you imagine how much good you could do if money was not an issue? Where would you put your money? Where would you invest? Who and what would you invest in? What would you seek to change? What is it that you're passionate about? And how much could you do for that particular group of people, organization, event, if you had the financial resources? So why don't we do this? Why don't we get them? Why don't we get them together? Why don't we get the resources that we need to change not only our lives, but the lives of other people, to put some money to some causes that need money. See, the truth of the matter is, the word of God declares, money answereth all things. And some of you don't have any answers because you don't have the money. Let's answer some things. Let's get the money. Let's get the resources. And let's change our lives and the lives of those that we're connected to and those that we are called to. If you're ready to be able to be an answer and to have an answer, I want you to type "I'm ready" in the comments. Inbox me because I've got something huge, huge, huge happening tonight. And I want you to be a part of what I'm doing. Wow. I'm amazing, Alita. I am. Listen, y'all, I am probably the most amazing I've ever been in my life. With everything that's going on, I am still absolutely amazing. And it's not an act, it's not a show. Like, for real, for real. I am in a place that I've never been in before. And it is an incredible place. You know, somebody said something to me, and it's so funny because I keep hearing the same thing, right? They said, Dr. V, you get results. See, you get results. That's one thing I can say about you, Dr. V. You get results. Whatever you do, Dr. V, you're going to get results. Andrea's always saying that, right? They say you get results. And I do. Do you know why I get results, you guys? Do y'all know why? Listen, I grew up in a freaking 3-room house with no indoor plumbing. Come on. I had to make some decisions about my life. And one of the decisions that I made about my life was that I would not look like what I was born into. I couldn't choose what I was born into, but if I could have chosen, I would have chosen exactly how I was born. The situation, my parents, everything. Not because they were perfect or it was perfect, because it was perfect for shaping me into someone who is results driven, who is action driven, who, like, no excuses. Like, what y'all doing? Like, what we doing? Well, come on, let's go. And if you're not ready to go, you need to move. Get out of the way. You get out of the way. And some of you have watched me. You've watched me day after day, month after month, year after year. You've watched me. And you have yet to tap into the gift that I am on the magnitude that God desires you to. And to that I say, shame on you. Shame on you. You know, I've watched people. And I want y'all to hear this because there's a lesson in this. It's why you don't despise your journey. I've watched people pay other people thousands of dollars to do what I do, what I've done in their life, and did it for less. And do you know what it taught me? It taught me that when you devalue what you bring to people's lives, they devalue it. When you devalue what you bring to people's lives, they devalue it. And I had to make some decisions. So I did, right? I was watching Dr. Tanya Calendar the other day, and she was saying the same thing. Like, literally, we've done people a disservice by making ourselves affordable because they don't have to stretch. We've done a disservice trying to help, wanting to save everybody, but not really understanding that if it's too affordable, people don't value it. If it's free, they really are going to undervalue it, right? And yet, you know what you have to offer. So literally, you know, I know everything that I do, like, is going to cost significantly more now. because I need people to understand the value that I bring, because then maybe people will apply the principles and strategies that I give them. Maybe then they will be able to level up their life and take it to the place that it needs to be. Y'all, listen, I'm going to tell you, I have invested money in my life, in who I am, in what God is doing in me in this season. And when you can't invest any money in you, that's a whole problem. It's a problem. I've gone through too much hell, too much, not to see the fiscal benefits of the hell I went through. Oh, no, no. I'm getting ready to get paid for all this hell. If I can save you going through everything I went through, there is no price tag that can be put on it that is too high. If I can save you from going through all the hell that I went through, all the hell. I'm like, everything that I've gone through to get to where I am, to get the knowledge and the experience and the wisdom that I have, if I can save you all of that, that's saving you probably about $1 million in and of itself, right? That's how much hell I've gone through. And I don't mind sharing. I don't mind pouring. I don't mind seeding strategies into you so that you don't have to go through it. Tonight at 9:00, I'm doing something that is absolutely huge. And if you're ready to finally partner and connect with me, you're ready to finally partner and connect with me to do something massive to change not only your life, but the lives of those that are connected to you and the lives of those that are called to you. If you're ready to get out of your own way, if you're ready to go international in your scope and in your impact, if you're ready to change your financial situation so that you have answers and you get on the other side of money, if you're ready to do something so huge that you never thought you would get an opportunity like that, if you're ready for that, you need to put "I'm ready" in the comments. I'm going to send you a link. Now, listen, I'm only giving a certain number of spots only, because guess what? I'm not playing with y'all. Not playing with y'all spectators. If you want to spectate, go on and spectate, but don't waste my time, right? But if you're serious about really wanting to change your life, change your situation and your circumstances, you need to put "I'm ready" in the comments so that we can do that. But you got to listen. You've got to listen. One of the things that I discovered about me that probably took me so long to get to where I am is I did not want to listen to nobody. You can't tell me nothing. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Listen, let me tell you. So that means I learned a lot of stuff the hard way. A lot of stuff the hard way. Okay? But guess what? You don't have to. You don't have to. You can literally connect with me. And then I'm going to share what I know. And if you'll implement, then we can do some massive things in a very condensed time frame. I believe in you. I believe in you, and I believe that you can do it. And I believe that we can do it together in a way that's going to change a lot of lives. But you got to take the first step. It's up to you. Listen, you guys, don't despise your journey, because you never know who is going to benefit from it. Today, you get a new opportunity, fresh chance, right? Chance to be a part of something absolutely incredible, amazing, and massive. I don't know about you, but that's exciting to me. So tonight at 9 p.m., if you want to know more, type "I'm ready." It's international. It's international. Did y'all get that? It's international. So you can change lives not just in the US, but all over the world. Wow. That's what I'm about. That global, international impact. Let's do this thing together. Let's change lives. Let's change the world. And let's do it all while we are increasing our answers. That means what? Money, 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 money. Money. Listen, I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Have an absolutely amazing day. Be blessed. Mwah.